So hopefully this is recording. What's up YouTube, it's MJ, and this is week 10 for Running NT 2011. So this week's topic is our binder and how we bind and whatever. So I am a relatively large-chested guy. Probably not even relatively. At my largest I was probably at least a triple D, maybe. I'm not that large-chested now because I have lost weight. So if I could recommend anything to you, more overweight guys, figure out how to lose some weight. It really does help. I know that's easier said than done, but if you do it, it will make things easier. I'm not going to offer tips on that, though. So I bind with an Underworks tri-top binder because I feel like it works really well. It's pretty restrictive, but you do get used to it. Yeah, and I like the tri-top because it only comes to about here. It doesn't bind your entire stomach, and you don't have to worry about like doubling it up or anything. So I find that works really well. And then over that, I have bought a couple of small men's Under Armour like t-shirt type things where they're like the stretchy kind of stuff. And they're small, so they're too small for me, but they're not like crazy insane small because they're like men's t-shirts. And then I cut the arms off because it's just, you know, they tend to pinch your armpits, and they're not really quite the right size for my arms because, I mean, my arms aren't huge, but they're not small, you know. And the Under Armour doesn't really bind anymore, but I feel like it kind of helps smooth out some lumps. I can show you guys what it looks like. This is what I look like when I'm binding. It's not great, but it does the job. People, you know, I pass for mail, so I guess it works well enough. I also find that shirts that aren't just plain colors, and especially like if they're darker, it seems like black and white are actually ideal. I know white's not a darker color, obviously, but I prefer black to white, but I feel like it kind of hides some of the curves a little better as well, some of the lumps and bumps that might not otherwise be there. I mean, I am by no means like a master at this, but I don't know. I guess some tips I would have are, if you're not going to like layer your shirts because it's hot out, don't wear like a super tight fitting top shirt because it just accentuates things more than, and I mean, obviously these tips may not work for smaller chested guys. I don't know, I've never been in that position, but if you're bigger chested, shirts that aren't super tight fitting so they don't accentuate things more than they need to be. In the winter, I like to just, you know, wear like a hoodie over everything, partially zipped, because it just hides stuff better, because, you know, it's a heavier material and whatever. Also, if you know, take your anatomy and kind of pull it down and to the side, instead of just straight down or straight out, it tends to hide things a little better, minimizes the uniboob effect. If you're not someone who's ever bound before, I would definitely say start with a couple hours a day at first, and then work your way up. You shouldn't sleep with a binder on. I mean, I tend to try and keep it to like 8 hours maximum. That's not always possible, but like I don't bind all day long. It's not really that comfortable. What else? I feel like I was partway through a thought there, and I just forgot half of where I was going with that. So if I did, I apologize. What else? Yeah, definitely the patterned t-shirts. Layers in general tend to be good. So if you're going to wear like a tighter fitting undershirt and then a looser overshirt if it's not excruciatingly hot out, that works well. I also tend to try not to, I don't know how many of you guys out there are substance users. I won't necessarily say abusers because not everyone who uses abuses. but a large number do. But if you are at the very least a user, I would recommend not binding with downs, because I figure, generally speaking, you're looking at some sort of respiratory depression anyways. And not to mention, you don't always feel when things hurt, so I would say avoid that in terms of just like health and safety. Also, if you get drunk and you fall asleep with your binder on and you wake up the next morning, you're going to be fucking sore, because I have done that. I actually did that last spring at the end of the school year. I got shit-faced and fell asleep with my binder on the night before my 8 a.m. stats final. I mean, it was on a Saturday, which admittedly is kind of really pretty evil of the professors to begin with. But because we didn't have, like, I took a Tuesday, Thursday, 11 o'clock stats class. You had a fucking 8 a.m. Saturday final. That was bullshit. But I digress. If you fall asleep with your binder on and you bind pretty tight, it's not comfortable. Don't do it. So I just usually opt for don't drink and bind. As silly as that might sound. Obviously, if you're going out to a bar or something, that's one thing. Just make sure you don't get so shit-faced you fall asleep with it on, because it really doesn't feel good. What else? I don't really know that I have a huge number of tips other than that. I've never really been able to bind to the... I've never really been able to get my chest as flat as I want it to be, because I am larger chested. I mean, I do okay. Hopefully I'm in the camera here. And I mean, I guess what I've found more than anything is that you might notice it, but other people usually don't really that much. You're looking at yourself more than anyone else does. So as long as it's not, like, terrible, it tends to be better. Other than that, I guess just, if you can work on bulking up your shoulders and stuff too, and trying to lose some of the gut, that really does help with how you look. Because obviously guys are usually wider at the shoulder, smaller at the stomach and waist. Not all guys, but a lot of guys. So that does help. What else? I think that's about it. I mean, there's really only so much to it. Don't bind with these bandages or things of that nature. I mean, obviously you guys are going to do what you're going to do, and not everyone has the options that I have had, because, I mean, I am by no means well off, but I've at least been able to afford a binder or two for myself. But if you can avoid it, don't bind with ace bandages. They really aren't good for you. And you really can do some pretty serious damage. Duct tape also, unless you're one of those guys who's so small-chested that you're just, taping down, each nipple with one little piece. Like, that's one thing, but, like, don't wrap around your chest with duct tape, because duct tape doesn't stretch, it doesn't breathe at all. You can really do some damage. Spraining your intercostal muscles really, really hurts. The muscles that lie between your ribs, and as you breathe, your intercostals lift your rib cage up so it can expand. So don't sprain those if you can avoid it. It really hurts. I have done some minor sprains, and it's not enjoyable. That's really all I can think of, but feel free to hit me up if you guys have any questions. I try and check this channel, but you're probably better off trying to hit me up on my personal channel if you have any really pressing questions. So feel free to message me, and that's really all I can think of. And I will catch you guys next week.